Let's talk about homeschooling. A while back, the Tanaiste of Ireland, Micheál Martin, made some pretty stupid comments about homeschooling. I think it's important to talk about it because it does raise a topic that we don't often hear about. And that is the benefits of homeschooling over public school. Now if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe if you like the content that I make. Now this kind of starts with a controversy about a man named Enoch Burke. I'm going to try and put it really quickly. It began when Burke objected to calling a transgender pupil by their preferred pronouns, and I think he also refused to use their new name. He was suspended and received a court order to stay away from the school. Now he repeatedly breached that court order and kept returning to the school. Not sure why, because I don't think that helps him at all. And he was fired as a result of repeatedly breaching this, and he was fined every day that he shows up to the school, which he still continues to do. And Micheál Martin, in response to this, linked the odd behaviour of the Burke family, because it's not just Enoch kind of acting up around this, it's from many of his family as well. He linked the odd behaviour of the Burke family to the fact that their mother homeschooled all 10 of her children. Micheál Martin made these comments during an interview with the Irish Examiner. So what did he say? Mr. Martin said he believes there is a reason why the Burke family from Castlebar, County Mayo, have an isolated perspective on life. I find it very sad that their family finds themselves in that situation and that they have a very isolated perspective on life and everyone else is wrong. And that always strikes me as that there's a reason for all of that. I don't want to comment too much, but I think it does speak to the importance of socialization, particularly in education. The idea that people should be educated in schools. I'm not a great fan of homeschooling. I think children need to socialise, he said. Now, I think those comments are quite close-minded. I know several families who are in the home education community. I know quite a few people who have been homeschooled. And I can tell you, they're actually more open to different points of view than those who are publicly schooled. Now, for those of you who don't know, I was publicly schooled. I went to a public school in primary. I then went to a private school in secondary, which did a much better job, by the way. And parents make a big effort to ensure their children are actually socialising if they are being homeschooled. So I think these comments are quite close-minded. I also find it very ironic that Micheál Martin, an Irish politician, says that someone else has an isolated perspective in life. Pot calling the kettle black there, I think. Now, one of the biggest issues with public schooling these days is it's very politicised. The issue is there's a lot of serious political topics that are being taught in schools to children who aren't developed enough to think critically about them. And that leads to them just believing what they're told, whether what they're being told is right or wrong. And worse still, these topics are only being covered from one side of the argument, making students think that side must be right, without ever hearing the other side. I think there's a core issue with this idea, and it makes sense why Micheál Martin would have this idea, given the fact that he was a school teacher. It's this idea that teachers care more about children than their parents. That's just ridiculous. Completely outrageous to think that. And the reason being is, well, first off, it's parents spend so much time with their kids. They love their kids. And teachers have seen so many children, year after year. They can't care about each one that much. They only really see them as numbers. I think the Tanaiste's comments about homeschooling is a great example of the belief that teachers care more than parents, which is stupid. And the belief that is being encouraged in the education sector, it is just wrong. And that needs to change.